back with another episode of Set Manipulation. How to get more gains out of your workouts, or I guess just learning new things / spicing up your workouts in a way. Today's episode is on cluster sets and rest pause sets, which are kind of similar in the way they function, but they're still very different. So anyway, jumping straight into it. A cluster set is basically a set where you break one set into smaller sets, essentially. For example, if I have a set of bench press for 5 reps, I can break it down to 3 sets of 2 reps. Alright, so it's breaking one set of 5 into 3 sets of 2 instead. And what this cluster basically allows me to do is it prevents too much fatigue can build up, and therefore can allow me to get more reps. Right, from one set of 5 to 3 sets of 2, that's 1 more rep. That's 6 total reps as compared to 5 reps from beforehand. And as a generality, cluster sets can be used and should be used for heavy compounds, as they have the most fatigue tied to them, and which is kind of behind the entire purpose of a cluster set, which is to minimize fatigue when you do your set. In terms of how intense you want it to be, you want it to be in the range of 85 to 90% of your 1 rep max. So this also translates to 2 to 7 total reps for your original set that you're going to break up. And so once you've chosen your exercise, your rep range / intensity, you can choose how many total reps you want to do, and the total amount of reps should be the same or higher than your original amount of reps in the original set. However, you don't want to increase it by a lot. I would say 0 to 4 is golden. So for the bench press example that I used before, this would be 6 total reps, right? Compared to the 5 total reps in the original set. And then from here, you want to choose how many sets you want to break that amount of reps into. So for the bench press example, I chose 3 sets of 2 so that I could get to 6. I could have also chosen 2 sets of 3 as well. However, that wouldn't have been the most ideal, given that it would have been my 5 rep max, right? So it would have been kind of iffy for me to get all 3 reps on the second set. So instead, doing 3 sets of 2, that's more safe. And so all this will take some experimenting on your own if you want to really grasp it. But it won't be too complicated, and I would say it's quite intuitive once you start to really look at it. And so from here, you perform each mini set with 10 to 15 seconds of rest in between each set, or each mini set, and that's pretty much it. Like after you do all your clusters, then you move on to another exercise, or you do straight sets. It's pretty simple, and allows you to get more quality reps out of your current set. And so I'll blow up a summary table for you. I'll say in general, cluster sets are best used as openers to your workouts, as given their nature, given what you need for them, given that you are most likely doing a compound and it's going to be intense, it'll fatigue you a lot. And so using them as openers instead of as finishers. As finishers, there's a greater risk of injury because they're compounds, but as an opener, it allows you to really, for one, push yourself and to see how you've progressed. So next, rest pause sets are sort of a blend of drop sets and cluster sets. So you may intuit what these are, and so rest pause sets are usually done after your main sets. And so after your main set, you rest for an amount of time, and then you try for a select number of reps again. And so once you can't get a minimum of reps, then you stop. And so one key part of rest pause sets are that you choose a lighter weight as compared to cluster sets, so it's more 60 to 85% of your 1 rep max, because you're required to recover after the main set and then just basically tack on more after that. And so with higher intensities, you won't be able to recover nearly as fast. So there are 2 methods for rest pause sets. There is Myo Reps, that's the first. So Myo Reps is basically choosing weights on the lower end, so 60 to 75% of your 1 rep max. And what this entails is, so you first do a set to failure, right? That's basically that's applicable to both options. And then you rest for 10 to 15 seconds, and then you try for more reps. You repeat this until you can't get at least 3 reps. So let's say I'm doing dumbbell lateral raises. My set's like 12 to 15 usually. I get to my last set, and then it's like 12. I rest 10 to 15 seconds. Do a couple more. Let's say I get 5, and then rest. Do another set, get 3, rest, and then the last time I can only get 2. All right, then I'm done. Another method is DC training, but honestly, the names do not matter whatsoever as long as you know the concepts and you know how to use it. DC training is basically using the higher end of the 1 rep max. It's using 70 to 85% of your 1 rep max. And because of this, you double the rest time instead. So it's going to be 20 to 30 seconds of rest time. And for this method specifically, you want to go until you can't get at least 2 reps. So let's say I'm doing curls. Curls for sets of 10. After my last set, okay, I'm done. I rest 20 to 30 seconds. Okay, I do some more reps. I get 5, and then another rest, and then 3, and then another rest, and then 2, and another rest, and then 1. Then I'm done. And so for both of these, I'll throw up a summary table. And so in general, rest pause sets should mostly be used for secondary and tertiary exercises, not your opener like a bench press, deadlift, squat, other compounds, but isolations like lateral raises works really well with rest pause sets. And I mean, personally, the burn it's so good. Like, try this. And so comparing cluster sets with rest pause sets, at the end of the day, these two are used for different things to get you different results. Cluster sets are mostly for compounds and openers to your workout. They are more intense and will fatigue you a lot, as compared to rest pause sets, which are mostly your finishers, your isolations, and to really conclude your workout. So you could do both in a single workout, honestly. You could do it. Maybe even on the same exercise, but I wouldn't recommend that. But you definitely could do it. And if you learned something, give a like, subscribe for more fitness-related content, and also sometimes philosophy/culture and self-development stuff too. There's a lot of stuff. It is.